Now let's look at Graham Wallas' model of creative thinking process. Now, Wallas' four-stage model of the creative process, consisting of 1. Preparation, 2. Incubation, 3. Illumination and its accompaniments, and lastly, verification. He published this in 1926, but it is still relevant for this course on creativity and innovation. And so this actually bringing Graham Wallas' model of creative thinking process, the 4 stages of preparation, incubation, illumination, and the verification, provides us with the foundational starting point, particularly in all creative researches. So one of the most illuminating things one can find is a popular 4-stage model of the creative process developed in the 1920s by this gentleman, Graham Wallas. And in his book, The Art of Thought, this British psychologist, Graham Wallas, outlined a theory of the creative process based on many years of observing and studying accounts of inventors and other creative types at work. So the 4 stages. Number 1, preparation. Let me explain. The creative process begins with the preparation, gathering information and materials, identifying sources of inspiration, and acquiring knowledge about the project or problem at hand. This is often an internal process, that is thinking deeply to generate and engage with ideas, as well as an external one, that is going out into the world to gather the necessary data. In research, what you collect, you call it data. To gather the necessary data, the necessary resources, and the necessary materials, and the necessary expertise. The second one, after preparation, is incubation. That is, the ideas and information gathered in stage 1 marinate. They marinate or steep or soak, or they infuse or they mass, or you may say they preserve or infuse in the mind. So the second thing is you start incubating it. You marinate or infuse, or you start getting the idea sinking in your mind. So what you got in stage 1, you start marinating or infusing it in your mind, inculcating it in your system. As ideas slowly simmer, the work deepens and new connections are formed. During this period of germination, the artist takes their focus off the problem and allows the mind to rest. While the conscious mind wanders, the unconscious engages in what Einstein called combinatory play. That is what Albert Einstein, a great scholar, called combinatory play. Yeah. Taking diverse ideas and influences and finding new ways to bring them together. That incubation stage has something combinatory, where you bring various ideas, influences, and also trying to inculcate it, marinate it in your mind, okay? And it's really a period of germination where the artist takes the focus off the problem and allows now the mind to rest in order now to germinate it. That's part of incubation. The third stage out of 5 is illumination. It is what you call elusive moment, elusive moment. After a period of incubation, insights arise from the deeper layers of the mind and break through to conscious awareness, often in a dramatic way. It is a sudden eureka that comes when you are in the shower, taking a walk, or occupied with something completely unrelated. Seemingly out of nowhere, the solution presents itself. That is illumination. Of course, in indigenous Africa, some will tell you when you sleep or when you are walking, ancestors visit you and give you solution to the problems that you had in the other week or in the other day. And that's when they talk to you and solve your equations. So that is another way in Africa, but generally that's not Wallas says. He talked about illumination, that it will come, it will illuminate itself because it has gone through incubation. Insights now come through illumination. In illumination stage, insights now come. As you are walking, as you are making a walk in the park, you find solution coming. Now, there's stage 4 now, where we talk about verification. Following the aha moments, that is illumination, the ones get written down. The vision is committed to paint or create. The business's plan is developed. Whatever ideas and insights arose in stage 3, illumination stage, are fleshed out and developed because now you are verifying. The artist uses critical thinking and aesthetic judgment skills to hone and define the work and then communicate its value to others. Of course, these stages don't always play out in such an ordinary linear fashion or linear fashion. It doesn't always play out in such an ordinary linear fashion. The creative process tends to look more like a zigzag or spiral than a straight line. So the model certainly has its limitations, but it can offer a roadmap of sorts for our own creative journey, offering a direction, if not a destination. It can help us become more aware of where we are at in our own process, where we need to go, and the mental processes that can help us get there. And when the process gets a little too messy, coming back to this framework can help us to recenter, realign, and chart the path ahead. Now, for instance, if you can't seem to get from incubation to illumination, the solutions might be to go back to stage 1, gathering more resources and knowledge to find that missing element. Or perhaps in the quest for productivity, you have made the all too common mistake of skipping straight to stage 4, pushing ahead with a half-baked idea before it's fully marinated. In that case, carving out time and space for stage 2 may be the necessary detour or diversion. Now, let me, as we wind up on Wallas' model, let me look at the creative thinking process or reaction to Wallas' approach. Let me look at the reaction to it. First, we describe Wallas' model of the creative process, which introduces the idea of the process involved in creative problem solving. We then sketch the formalized model of this process as used as a basis for creative problem solving from ideation through to implementation. So it was once an idea, so there's ideation through to implementation. The use of ideation techniques is then introduced. We next consider the notion of paradigm shift and how this relates to the choice of a suitable creative problem solving technique that might be used to gain insights into a problem. Finally, we examine analogical thinking and its relevance to problem-solving techniques where a sustainable paradigm shift is required. Now, looking at Wallas' model of the creative process, the foregoing looks at the situation as it may occur when we are consciously trying to get insight into a problem. Often, however, we may have a problem which we have still not resolved, but which we may in fact be working on at subconscious level. At some subconscious level. Yes. Okay, some noise. Let me stop it. Don't know who was not muted. Yes, you mute that. So let me finish. So what I was saying before that noise came from a member. Often, however, we may have a problem which we have still not resolved, but which we may in fact be working on at a subconscious level. Graham Wallas set down a description of what happens as people approach problems with the objective of coming up with creative solutions. He described this four-stage process as follows. Number one, in the preparation stage, we define the problem, need or desire, and gather any information the solution or response needs to account for, and set up criteria for verifying the solution's acceptability. Number two, in the incubation stage, we step back from the problem and let our minds contemplate and work it through. Like preparation, incubation can last minutes, weeks, or even years. It depends on what you are considering. Now, in the illumination stage, ideas arise from the mind to provide the basis of a creative response. These ideas can be pieces of the whole or the whole itself, that is, seeing the entire concept or entity all at once. Unlike the other stages, illumination is often very brief, involving a tremendous rush of insights within a few minutes or hours. Number four, in verification, the final stage, we carry out activities to demonstrate whether or not what emerged in illumination satisfies the need and the criteria defined in the preparation stage. Now, it should be noted that the research on incubation by Sego, who published in 2004, suggests that a break in the attentive activity devoted to a problem may eventually facilitate the solution process. This gives rise to a new hypothesis based on analysis of the structure of insight, problems, and their solution process. According to this hypothesis, no activity takes place during the break. The break's only function is to divert the solver's attention from the problem, thus releasing her mind or his mind from the grip of a false organizing assumption. Now, this enables the solver to apply a new organizing assumption to the problem's components upon returning to the problem. Another scholar, Morse, argues that the process may be influenced by the impact of environmental cues. So, in other words, environment is very critical in shaping our creativity. It may even upset your original plan. You may plan in an environment that is so noisy, so quarrelsome, so troubling, so hostile. You may have to slow down, or you may have to be slowed down. And you may also be poor in thinking about something, but if you are in an environment that is exposed to such thing, you may have somebody aiding you to move even faster. So now, so I've said this enables the solver to apply a new organizing assumption to the problem's components upon returning to the problem. And we quoted Morse arguing that the process may be influenced by the impact of environmental cues. That is what we wanted to underline, environmental cues. Environmental situation, context has a huge bearing on all these creativity we are talking about. And when a problem is abandoned, a solution may subsequently and unexpectedly emerge. The intervening period, known as incubation, has sometimes been ascribed to opportunity assimilation. According to this theory, impasses to a problem create failure indexes, which ensure that random changes in the environment are detected and utilized. Now, any comments, and then we cross over after comments.